Good evening, everyone. I was looking for new batteries for my flashlight. Couldn't find any. So that's why I'm just a few minutes behind here. Gonna get logged on the tablet as well so I can personally watch it. There we go. So, as we get into tonight, the first thing I want to ask is for just a little bit of a patience. Again, we're still just recovering from the events that have happened in our life for the last 3 weeks. My brain is a little boggled. I may not be right on my A game, but I'm still here and feet are hitting the ground every morning. So, as I was saying, I was looking for new batteries for my flashlight. Hopefully it's still bright enough. I guess that's on the shopping list. And what I'm going to do is give it a few minutes to see if anybody else joins. For those of you that are watching, please say hi so I know who you are. You know, if this is your first time joining us, or your first time incubating, or any of the first time type questions or anything like that, please do not hesitate to ask any questions. I will answer to the best of my knowledge, from what I have learned over the years, from what I've been taught from the years. And if I do not know the answer, I will resource it out. There may not be one single answer. There may not be one single method to incubation either. Hi, Delva. Because there's so many variables in the incubation process. There was one post earlier that asked about humidity. And with humidity, there's so many variables. Like currently, I have my air conditioner running in the room. My incubators are in my bedroom, because I just looked at the weather map. We're going to get drowned again. And it shows that my humidity is at 28%. I prefer to have it around about 25, 26. 28's getting a little creeping high on me. But also, too, because it's much warmer, my bedroom is the warmest part of the house. And it shows that my incubator temp is at 99.7. So, we're going to turn the air conditioner on, and I just have to kind of play with it. But the biggest thing to take for this is what works for me may not work for you, depending on so many variables. Elevation, region, how wet you are, type of incubator, etc. like that. So there's many different factors when it comes to the incubation. I will show you real quick what I put together for my keeping track of things this year. And I will try to keep track of the questions and things like that as we go. I will get back to it. Let's see here. Second year incubating. Hello from Florida. This is my second year incubating geese. My first was Sebastopol. That year, 100 hatched. This year is awful. I'm actually hearing a few people say that this year has been a little tricky, and each year can certainly have their ups and their downs. You know, you can bank on, you know, the last 3 years I've hatched 40 to 50 goslings. From what I'm seeing so far this year, I don't think that's going to happen. So there's so many things and so many differences that, what's the saying? Never count your chickens before they hatch. Well, don't count your geese before they hatch either. All right, so I'm gonna flip this real quick and show you guys what I put together for keeping track of my hatches, if I can turn this. Okay, So, and I can post this online as well, on the website, something like that. So we got March. As I stated in my first video of the year, I typically set my eggs on Sundays. And I will label them A, B, C, D, right on down the alphabet. So I will actually be setting batch C tonight. They are over there, hello, in the bucket, waiting to be labeled and go in. And I'm hearing myself on my tablet because I'm watching on my tablet as well for questions and such when I'm doing, but I have March, April, May through here. Then, I don't like this clipboard. Okay, so then, this is just one example. So this is Sylvester and Fiona, 2023. I toe punch my babies. So I will have whatever their punch code is, and a band color for the babies, or zip tie that I have on there. I've got the date that I set them, how many I sat, and how many were good. 319 have not been candled yet, so we'll find out tonight. This column is for how many have quit throughout the incubation process, and this will be how many hatch out from that pen, and then an area for notes afterwards. Same thing with my white pen. I've got Fluff. He's got a blue band on with a number. I've got to dig out the number, and he had 2 hens in with him, but I just moved one of them, so I've got to make a notation of that. And I forgot to put that, and I always do everything in pencil. Same thing there. Then for my buff pen, grays, for all my pens I do that. So that'll help me keep track throughout the year. Now, I know we all came here for candling. We didn't want to hear me yabbing along, stammering, stuttering, whatever. So let me go ahead and pull out my eggs. Oh, and what I have, guys, is I keep my clipboard right there on the side of my incubator. Gotta love command hooks. Gotta love them. Alright, so let me go ahead and pull out a batch and get them misted and cooled, or started cooling. So I've got to get my trays lined up to pull the trays out. And something's wrong with my turner. I got to get a hold of GQF. So this might take a minute. Not last year, but the following year, or last season. When I had eggs in the incubator around Christmas, we had a snowstorm come in, and our power surged, and it fried the control panel on my incubator. And I really think that it may have affected something in the turning as well. So those of you with cabinet incubators, and these metal trays, so I was getting my trays confused as to which ones were which. And so I found these magnetic dry erase labels, and I used a permanent marker, and I will slap one of them right on the front or the side. That way I know which one is which. Because as there's three compartments in here for your trays, and I start out way at the bottom, and then as the incubation process goes on, I move them up one level to where by the time they go in the hatchers, they will be at the top level. So we've got 2 different stages here, guys. And then for anybody wondering, it's in the last video too. This is the mister that I use. It's just a little aerosol mister. You can maybe see that. Just a quick swoop. So this batch here, oh, and I have it backwards, so hold on. A little bit of motion sickness, guys. So this batch here was sat last Sunday, so it's at 7 weeks. And this is the first time that I've candled them, so I have no idea what we're going to see. Lights out. Let me dim the screen here. There we go. Okay, so, yes, I know, it went dark. Ooh. I'm actually going to turn this around because I find that it is a lot easier to candle the eggs on the fat point where the aerosol would be. And let me turn this back on for a minute. This is my flashlight that I use. It's just a normal flashlight. I think it's like a, I can't even read what it says. It says it's a police security flashlight. No idea what brand. No idea how many watts. And this is just a rubber PVC, or, you know, rubber boot connector with a hose clamp. I actually last week thought about using a zip tie for it. But, yeah, my brain slipped that thought. So as I candle these eggs, any of them that may not be good, I'm going to go ahead and set them aside. So, this row is Sylvester. And we'll see how he's doing. So far this year, I've seen him doing the deed. But with him being 11, I don't know how well the deed is getting done. And I don't see anything in there. I should be seeing veins by now. And what I am seeing that tells me that it's probably no good is, I'm going to leave that one there for a second. Let me see if I can find one. Okay. Oh, this one. So this one, I don't know why they do that. Oh, I had my little great nephew and niece helping me collect eggs. And this could have been one of the ones that the 2-year-old helped me collect. But anyways, loose aerosol. I see nothing in the yolk here. Can you guys see that? Okay. Tell me. Please scream at me if you cannot see that. But this is a loose aerosol. It goes all the way to the bottom. I've got another one in the first batch, but I don't see any sign of life in this one. So that's not going to help me out. Which with Sylvester's eggs, I'm not 100% disappointed. I mean, he's getting old, you guys. He's getting really old. I have no idea what their span is for fertility. And whether it's him or her, because she's 9, 10 herself. So she's getting a little, you know, up there in age as well. And what the heck? There's another one with the aerosol. But this one actually got solid. It's not moving around. Oh, nope. I take that back. That is not a Sylvester egg. This is a Callista egg out of my buff. And so far, her boyfriend has not figured out that he has a girlfriend, nor has he figured out the equipment to use. His equipment to use. So, and this was a Callista egg too. So, well, that's kind of disappointing, but he's young. He wants to be with his gray brother and sister. So I just moved pens today. Everybody was ticked off. This is a gray. Nothing in that one. Well, this is not looking promising this year, guys. Okay, we got a live one. This is... Oh, okay. This is out of one of my white pairs. He is doing his job. He is doing his job. He's been really, excuse me here, really hissy-pissy and grouchy. Can you guys see that there? So remember, this is day 7. This is what you'd see on day 7. Somebody please tell me how clear it is on your side. If I need to refocus or anything like that, please. Okay. It must just be gunk on my screen. Thank you. Because it looks like it's all blurry on this side. And I appreciate that. So this is out of one of my white boys. He's older though. He hatched just before Christmas in 20. So he would be 2021. No way. He's just over 2. Okay. So he knows his job. He knows his job. He knows what to do. And he had 2 girls in with him up until today. I just moved one of them because one of my other white pair, he's not doing it. I'm seeing no breeding. I'm seeing no nothing. No eggs. No nothing. So obviously you can see that this one is pretty clear. This is all like gunk. Mud. Straw. A little bit of everything. This is a huge, huge egg. So hopefully, yay. So I can tell by the size of the eggs, and I'll put the light back on and show you guys. This is out of the 4-year-old hen. There's a lot of weight to this egg, a lot of size to it, a lot of matter. But you can see it right there. So he's up to 7. He's up to 7 babies because I got 4 in the other one from last week. 8. Maybe this will be the year for my whites, which I am perfectly okay with. Last couple of years haven't been great for my whites. It's been a lot of grays and buffs. This is a light egg. Oh. So I'm just going to use the flashlight here to kind of tell or show you guys here. So this egg, I'm assuming that this is from the pullet or the yearling that is in there. And you can kind of see the size of the egg and how it sits in my hand. Okay. And we're going with B. Now this egg, I need to get a scale out, but you can see how much more of my hand it covers. And I've got a picture. I can put it on there, put it on the website or on the page as far as showing the difference between like an old goose down to a pullet and what I say was like a fairy egg. I guess that's what it called. Oh, did I put that on the wrong side? I did. So typically, this was an egg that I had to clean off. And I ran some warm water on a paper towel, but it didn't get it very clean. And typically, the other side would have been cleaner. And that would have been the side that I would have wanted to set it on for my first candling. But I can see it is very clearly got a baby in there. So that's good. This is getting into my grays. He's being picky choosy as to who he wants. I'm wondering, I guess I'll have to sit out and watch, but I see him breeding both of them. So, or, well, at least I think he does. Because honestly and truthfully, he does a lot of it in the pool. And I am not joking when I see menage a trois stuff. Like, they're all dancing around each other. Well, that's really disappointing. Really disappointing. There's only one in there. I doubt this one's good. It feels too light. Yep. That's a speck of gunk. Well, that is pretty disappointing, guys. Don't leave yet. We're not done. I've got the batch from last week to put in. So I'm going to go ahead and move these guys. I'm going to put these guys back in the incubator. And I keep them in the rows like that so that I don't lose track of who's who. A little bit of motion sickness again, guys. I want to get these guys in the incubator because technically they should have only been cooling for 5 minutes. It's been way longer than 5 minutes. So, and if anybody would like to see me put the next batch in the incubator, I can certainly stay on and do that as well. Boy, my air conditioner's set on auto, and it got really warm in here. And it makes it even warmer in here with the, incubator going. But, like, the furnace is on the same wall as my bedroom. And the hot water heater is in my closet. Add in the incubator. My gosh, I've been having a hard time sleeping. I wanted to get the incubators down to the basement this year, which I probably would have been able to do had not the recent events in our life happened, but that's why they call them, I don't know if you want to call them accidents or what, but freak incidences, I don't even know. I don't even know what to call. For those that don't know, we lost my brother-in-law, and we just had a service on Wednesday. So, okay. Back to the task at hand. So this week, or this egg is on week 2. Well, just over week 2. So that would be day 15. And we should see movement of sorts. And for the movement that I usually see, it's usually on, so I'm going to try to just barely roll this. But if you look right there, I think I see some movement. Yep. I can see just kind of like shadows. Reminds me of something that you'd see from a sci-fi movie. Can you guys see that down there moving? Like at the bottom of the egg right in here. It's not a whole lot of movement. And I always like to candle on the side because I feel that you get... And yes, I do need new batteries for my flashlight. So that'll make a difference. Let's see if I can turn it. Sometimes, yep, right there, you can see it just barely. It does. It reminds me of something from a sci-fi movie. And this right here, guys, that's the one that I'm excited about. I might even hang on to it. I don't know. That's a Sylvester baby. I don't know. I want to stay away from the white color carriers, but it's a Sylvester baby. So, if I get it out of frame for a minute, guys, just bear with me, because I'm trying to be able to show you guys. Hold on. My eyes are getting worse. I've had 2 pair of bifocal in the last 2 years, and they don't work for me. Because I can't, like, read my gauges on my dash. And I can't read the stop sign, or, the signs either. So, they gotta come up with something different for my eyeballs. And so I think I see like a little bit of shadowing right in here. But also too, this egg has been sitting out and now it's gotten cool. So the warmer that they are, the more that they'll move too. It's kind of like when you get cold, you don't really feel like moving. There you go. Right there. Right there. So we're on A. So, can you guys see the difference in these eggs? These egg sizes right here? This one and this one. See how much difference it takes up? This is a yearling egg. And this one is the 3-year-old hen. I find week 2 and like right about day 25, it's really hard to see the movement. Because like there's so little at this point. And right there, you can see the veins moving on the top up here. Okay, so we're still good. And then this is white eggs. This one, I don't know if I like the way this one looks, guys. So if I have an egg that I question, I will leave it for a few more days. I will actually leave it until the next candling. I will probably candle it the middle of the week, just check, but I don't like that big blob. That's usually not a promising sign. Now, if that blob moves on its own, then I'm okay with it. But you can see how dark it is all around there. I don't see any actual veins. And this could have been this girl's first egg. So, yeah, but I don't know. I don't like that. And it's not moving. It's like gelled up in there. I'm going to give that one till Wednesday, double check it. And if it doesn't change, then yeah, it's going bye-bye. Do not take chances with eggs that are bad. Your nose will never, ever forgive you if you have an egg that goes bad and explodes. I haven't smelt a rotten egg rupture, explode, whatever, since I was a kid. And I'm 45, guys. I mean, we're talking before I was like 10. And I've worked in the medical field for the last 20 years. Guys, there's nothing worse than that smell. Seriously. So I see the veins. And sometimes I'll take with my finger and just do like a little tap tap to see if I can get something moving. And it could also be my flashlight, guys. I looked for new batteries. I couldn't find any. I mean, it's pretty bright still, but it's not as bright as it could be. So, I don't know. I guess this will be a candle again. Yeah, because you can see a big difference. There is a huge difference between what's in this egg and what's in this egg and what is in this egg. So, yeah. Does anybody have any questions, comments, everything coming clear? You can see the movement right along here. And sometimes if you do a little roll, you should be able to really see it right down there. Right there. Yep. But again, if anybody has any questions or anything, now's the time to ask. You know, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. And, hey, Mom. Guys, just so you know, Barb is like my second mother. She's, with my mom not being here, she's the only mom I got left. So, hold on, Barb. I say this egg went bad. What do you see? It doesn't move. It went bad. I'm going to give it like 2 more days. See if it's changed. It does not move. So, yuck. Okay, this egg, you guys might be wondering. Oh, I love Barb to death, you guys. You guys, I need to make a trip down to her house. I've been down there. My mom and I went and stayed. Okay, back on topic. I could go on all day because I've been like an emotional wreck, you guys. So, anyways, this egg right here with the paper towel. If you recall, in the first set, just a second, I'll answer that. Let me stay on track here. In the first set, there was a loose air cell. This one has a loose air cell as well. Unfortunately, I cannot find something that will fit in my incubator to where my churners don't hit it to keep it from moving at all. So, I did check this egg last night. You can see the air cell. I'm keeping it up as far as I can, propped up on the paper towel. But guys, I checked this egg like 2 days ago, and I swear to you not, there was movement. I'm like, I even asked my friend to look at it. I mean, it's possible that in that 2 days that it went bad. But up until that point, it was good. I don't know. It's definitely changed in 2 days. Is that too close, y'all? Do I have it too close? I keep pulling it closer so that I can see. There is still movement in this egg, guys. You can see it right there. No, it's a loose air cell, Barb. I've got it propped up the best I can and doing the best I can. But I cannot find something to keep it low enough on the bottom shelf so it's not on the churners. I'm going into the Dollar Tree tomorrow, so I'll look again. No, there was just movement, Terry. There was just movement. You can see it right there. It's moving by itself, guys. I'm not moving it. With a loose air cell. I have had them hatch with a loose air cell. It seems like the last like 2 weeks or so. Well, actually, I take that back. The last like 10 days. So what I do, even though it's on my churner, and I've got my auto churner on, is for this egg here that's got the loose air cell, I will basically just give it a little whoop. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to turn the light back on here, guys, real quick, and turn you around. Hopefully you're not right up my nose. That's one thing that cracks me up when you do videos with people or something like that, and you can only see right up their nose. So I gotta spin you around, because it's on the tripod, y'all. Oh, shit, that didn't work. Hold on. I'll get there. Bear with me, guys. Okay. So, Delva, you asked a question. Doesn't the low humidity dry hatch cause the air cell to grow too much? So, thanks, Barb. So, again, there's a ton of variables to that. The shell being porous, it allows for the evaporation, and it can be a personal preference too. But if the humidity is really, really, really low, then yes, it can cause the air cell to grow too rapidly. The cooling and misting also affects how much absorption of the, liquids are in there and the air cell growth. On the website, there is a incubation guideline thing from Pete. I can't remember his last name right now, guys. Barb, Terry, Pete, blanking out. But anyways, I'll put the link up. Again, thanks, Peter Banks. He was over in the UK, and he did a lot of hatching and etc. like that. But he's got a formula within that like incubation guide type thing, to where you can go through and you can weigh, and there's so much percentage, if you're good at math, so much percentage that they're supposed to lose per week, etc. like that. Myself, I tried doing that one year, failed miserably because I kept forgetting to weigh them. I kept forgetting to mark my air cells. But you can most certainly track it like that. Now, on the aspects of low versus high humidity, too high a humidity can also drown them. Along with, it can cause, when they do hatch, if your humidity is too high, it can cause sticky membrane. I mean, it's like the yolk and the membrane inside is just ooey gooey, and it's such a mess, because what it does is like, I've seen them where their wings are stuck to themselves, and they can't move, they can't walk, they can't do nothing, because they can't get their wings out to balance. So humidity is the key to it. I feel that humidity is the key. And I mean, even like Delva, you and I have spoke on the phone. Even elevation like up in the mountains and stuff, whether it be on the west or the east, can affect the hatching process. Yeah, or the location of your incubator. Like in my room here, if I today, let's see here. Well, no, I can't judge it. I can't judge it because I just put the eggs in back in. But when I started out this morning, I was at like 23%, and we've had rain. So I jumped back up to, what was it, 28 when we first started, 26? I think it was 28. And that was just from the rain that we had come in earlier today, which was not very much at all. I mean, just enough to make my hoodie wet and get me a little chilled. So, that's one reason that I'm really hesitant on putting the incubators in my basement. But I do have a room that I can seal off, and if need be, I can put a humidifier in there. I can put a dehumidifier in there if need be. I can add water to the incubator if need be. But it's like, if you've got something that's working for you, use it. It's when it stops working for you, that's when you need to go back to square one and reevaluate. Like say if I was to get it down into the basement, my incubator down in the basement, my first batch or two, I have no idea what settings I'd have to do. I doubt I'd be able to have the same settings as what I do now. And I mean, now there's so much cool technology. Like, you can get those, they use them for smokers and etc. like that, greenhouses, where you can get the thermostat, or the thermometers, the humidifier, all the gauges, all the bells and whistles and stuff, to where it can link right up to your cell phone. So me, I like to kind of wing it a little bit. Like my incubator earlier, say 99.7, it's like, okay, it'll drop back down a little bit. I'm not gonna panic. Or I've seen a couple people over the last like 2 days that they've lost power, in whatever groups and stuff like that. Here we go. Prime example. One of my neighbors, well, kind of neighbors, country neighbor, let's put it that way. Her power went out for like an hour and a half. She was freaking because she's got 4 eggs in the incubator. I says, girl, an hour and a half without the incubator on. Did you cover it with a towel or a blanket or something? Yeah. Then they're perfectly fine. I don't know about you guys, but I know I'm guilty of setting eggs out at night and forgetting to put them back in. I know that I've done it. I feel like we need to have a, like a confession session or something like that. Yep, I did that. Oops. But no, it's like I explained on the phone too. It may be a huge trial and error for you. And you may have to adjust throughout the season. And you may have to adjust from year to year. There is, I wish it was as easy as it to say, okay, if you do A, B, C, D, you're going to get 100% hatch rate. I really wish it was that easy, but it's not. There's too many things that you got to take into play. And until somebody, sorry, the geese are right out my window and they're going bonkers. They're not happy today. But anyways, until somebody can get one of those things to gauge time, humidity, temperature, all that good stuff, and strap it on the underside of a broody goose. It doesn't really matter what breed of broody goose. But until they can pinpoint all that down, all we're doing is trying to mimic what we've seen these geese do. You know, just like with candling them, handling them, and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, you want to be a little gentle with them. But I've seen them roll them around. Don't ask me how. But, like, I've gone through and I've checked in the morning for eggs. I'll set them in my feeders, which are screwed up on the wall. They're up off the wall, or up off the ground, about a good 2 foot or so. 1.5 feet, 2 foot. Set the egg in the feeder, right? Oh, shoot, I forgot that egg. Okay, I'll get it tonight when I go out and do chores. I go back out to do chores and grab the egg, and the egg is MIA. Start looking around. Where'd it go? She got it out of the food dish and rolled it, I don't know how she did it, right on over to where she wanted it to be. And if you've ever seen, like, videos of the goose on the nest and, you know, fixing the nest, they're not easy with them. They're not 100% easy with them. So, yeah, they're fragile, but I don't think they're as fragile as what we really think they are. I really don't think they are. I mean, yeah, if you drop it or something like that, that's going to be a big thing. The post office box, that's going to be a big thing. You know, the other thing that I see people doing that can help raise, I don't know, this is just me. This is the medical in me. Is I see people that, you know, candle like this or like this, and you can't see a whole lot there, and you really can't see a whole lot there. Yeah, this is a dud. Yeah, just relax. I mean, she's not freaking out over stuff. But anyways, I'm going to show you here. This is Sylvester's egg, so we're going to be really gentle with this egg. But what happens when I hold it upright like that? Everything settles to the bottom. Do you guys see that? That's why those candlers on the incubators and stuff like that, I don't like them. I don't like them. If I put it on this end and hold it like that, again, everything changes. We are incubating them on the side because they are too late on the side. And that is when you can see your most, is when they're on their sides. Yep. Handy dandy flashlight. And same thing with the cell phones. With the cell phones, I've had persons send me pictures with cell phones as their flashlight. You get so much glare around the egg that you can't even see. Hold on, I better put these back in the incubator. And I guess while we're sitting here chatting, might as well put the next batch, get the next batch ready. Oh, duh. God, I'm a ding dong. Wow. So as I was just putting that back in, I was thinking of what I could use to set in the bottom of the incubator for that egg that has the loose air cell. Delva, I wonder where you got that idea. What I could use to set that one with the loose air cell in it on the bottom of my incubator. I can just put it in. I can just keep transferring it to the one that's at the bottom of the incubator. And hopefully it'll, is it solidify? Is that the word I want? No, I don't think so. You know what I'm talking about. Barb, so with you having your incubators in your bathroom, do you find that when you shower or bathe that your humidity comes up? Or does it still keep it about the same? And when you answer that, please tell us what kind of incubator you use. So that was A, B. So this is C. And I use crayons and color pencils, guys. The crayons are nice because the wax doesn't wash off like pencils do. I think if I remember correctly, Barb uses the Arcoms. Yep. And they do come up a little bit, but it's not enough for you to freak out over. Kevin has a question. Do you find lower hatch rates with first-time moms since egg size looks smaller? Would you still recommend hatching from her first year laying? Okay. So, okay, so I have heard, and there are many people that don't recommend it, but there are also many people that do it, as far as incubating the first year layers. Yes, the eggs are a little bit smaller, but I find that the goslings are just about the same size. My preference is everything goes in the incubator. Everything. I don't usually have an issue with hatching out. Now last year was weird because I had to assist a little bit more. Well, I didn't have to assist. Let me rephrase that. I chose to assist. A little bit more great than what I had in the previous years. But there was something, what was it last year? Oh, last year we got stupid hot. And we were really dry throughout the year. So that could have had an effect on it. But I myself, I don't really see much of a difference between the older hens and the younger pullets. I think it's more of a personal preference. Yes, the eggs are smaller. Yes, they might have a little bit of a harder time hatching. But it's also something that can be, if you choose to, you can assist if need to. Like I said, I incubate everything. I'm not picky and choosy on what it is. And, I mean, last year I had no problems. Really. With the first year ones, it was actually the bigger eggs. I was getting too big of babies. Like, they were seriously stuck in the egg because they couldn't get jerked around because they were seriously too big. but I've got quite a few bigger eggs this year because as they've gotten older, though they're getting bigger. I'm trying to pick straw off an egg, guys. Or at least that's what I've noticed. Barb, what's your... Terry, are you still on? What are your guys' take on first year layers? Who did not label this egg? Oh, me. I have no idea which pen this one came out of, so we're going to put a question mark on it. Oh, yeah, I mean, if they're, like... Hold on. Here's an example. Here is Callista egg. Callista was 2017 hatch. So that puts her, what, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. Holy cow. Is that right? She's 6 years old? Oh my goodness. But there is a egg difference, size, hugely. And it doesn't really break my heart that this wasn't fertile. So, oh, hi, Kaylin. Yep. Incubate everything. And, you know, again, I think it's a personal preference, too. I had one egg. I wish I should have, I wish I'd have saved it. I wish to goodness I'd have saved it. I had, out of my gray pen, I had somebody lay an egg. I'm not joking. That it was about the size of a bantam egg. Well, I don't know if it was my older gray hen or if it was my younger gray hen, but I do know that it came out of the grays. And so, you know those cardboard cartons that you get for like 24 eggs at the store? I use those for setting my eggs in for storage until the following week. And the container literally swallowed the egg. Like, poof, disappeared. Couldn't see it. So, I don't know what was up with that one. And I feel like I can say at this point, because now it's been almost 10 years since I started helping Mom with this whole incubation Sebastopol goose thing, that in all the years I don't think I've seen an egg like that before. I'm like, what the? Did somebody sneak a chicken in my pen? The ones that are larger, I do. The ones that are larger, I do. I let them get going a bit before using the smaller ones. Gotcha. But essentially, everything gets incubated. Well, okay. Here's another aspect of that question: is if you're gonna let the goose go broody. And if you think about, like, say, out in the wild or, whatever, do they pick and choose which egg they sit on? No, they don't. They're not picky and choosy. So, I mean, a lot of my thought processes are on, well, what would they do when they were still wild? What would the wild geese do? So, I mean, I'm sure that there's plenty of first time moms out there. Oh, you're okay. Can you candle on eggs last 2 to 3 days, maybe even after it pips, keeping humidity high, not to shrink wrap, and tell if it's okay and moving freely or if it's shrink wrapped? Well, yeah, I've seen that too, Barb. Um, I have candled after they've pipped. Um, you got to do it quickly, really, really quickly, because you do lose that humidity, and you take a chance of them shrink wrapping. So, if you come across an instance like that, be prepared to possibly assist if need be. Everybody's got their own opinions on assisting. It kind of depends on who the egg came from. Like, if, say it was one of the Greys last year, and at first, yeah, I would assist probably a little bit more. But then as the year went on and I got closer to about 40 Grey babies, I'm like, you know what? If you're not doing it on your own, guess what? You're not doing it. So, are you talking... Okay, let me clarify then. Is it external or internal pipping? Because they usually aren't shrink wrapped. They usually don't get shrink wrapped until they external pip. At that point, then what you can do is, if it's internal pip, you can sometimes see what's going on. You absolutely can. But it's hard to judge what might actually be going on. I mean, I'm gonna have to vacuum my carpet. You know, you might see where it looks like a lack of movement. If there's a lack of movement and they've external pipped, then, you know, if it looks just real sluggish, then that's when I would start by making an air hole. And then going from there. If need be, then you can certainly do an external pip. And all it takes is a little hole. I use a headlamp. And you can get a lot of an idea from something, from that little, little hole. No bigger than, like this crayon that I'm using. You can get an idea a lot from that. What the hey? My crayon just did something. If it's already external pipped, then you can certainly, I would, if it's 2-3 days, if it's 2-3 days of external pip and it hasn't come out yet, but I still hear and see, because you'll hear them first. If I still hear and see them moving, then I will check. But again, I'm prepared to help if they do get shrink wrapped. And yes, in some instances, I do think that there is too much. Another unmarked egg. Oh, this is gonna be fun, y'all. But anyways, I think that there have been too many instances of getting eggs out too much at the end and checking them. And causing shrink wrapping. Shrink wrapping can happen if your humidity is too low as well. Well, that's my preference. Like, say, okay, so say we external, or we internal pip, we see the internal pip, which, technically, per all the guides and stuff like that, at like day 27, day 28, you don't touch them anymore. But if it's, say, gone to day 30 and I'm not seeing any rocking, I'm not seeing any external, I'm not hearing anything in there, then I will do a quick candle. I mean, I don't even hardly open the incubator. I just open it enough to get my hands in. If the baby is still, you know, pushing on the membrane and rocking it out, then I'll let them go. If I see where they're just kind of, just, I don't know, I wish I had some way to, you know, mimic it. But if it's just kind of like, nah, 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 then it's like, okay, I'll give you just a little bit more. I'll give you just a little bit more. And then again, if I don't see anything in the next 24 hours, that's when I will maybe make that make that PIP for them. But there's also a point when you have to accept that it might be nature's way. And I only say this because years and years ago, oh gosh, what was it, like, I keep saying years and years ago, like it's been forever ago, but I don't know, it had to have been 17 or 18, something like that. I had a saddleback, a gray saddleback, and I had a gray gander. And over the course of my mom having this goose, and I mean, if you want to talk more about this, we can certainly talk more about this, and I can get more in depth on things. But for about a 2-3 year span, something like that, at least 2 years, at least, we noticed that we were having to assist a lot of babies out. And in lieu of assisting those babies out, was finding a lot that basically had like a form of spina bifida, essentially, where they had no skull. Their skull at the back of their head was open, and all the way, you know, sometimes all the way down their neck into where their wings would have come in. And there's devil's advocate on that one, because not only if I had assisted, and some of them I did a full hatch on, but if I had not assisted, I would have just, those eggs would have quit, and I would have just tossed them out not even knowing. But since I was assisting and finding these eggs that had no skulls, basically, or these goslings with no skulls, I knew what was going on. And the next year, it seemed like it happened more frequently. And at that point, I was opening every egg. But it was like the last batch of the season, and I don't know, I can't remember the numbers specifically, but it was like, say like 7 out of 10 didn't have a skull. I mean, it was wow. And it was at that point, it was at that hatch that I realized that there was something that was wrong with the bird. Because that year I had also changed. Yeah, I was just getting to that. So it went on the year before with the same gander, and then the following year I changed ganders. And so it was then that I realized that there was an issue with this hen. I mean, I contacted MSU, talked to the vet up there. He's very knowledgeable. You know, could this be an incubation process? I was on the phone, on chat, on video with Mama Barb. Barb, what the hell? And then when I realized that that this gosling hatched that had essentially no skull, and had I not hatched it and helped it hatch, it would have died on its own. No, instead, this gosling came out with no skull, didn't hardly have anything covering its spine down its neck, and here this thing is, it's talking to me, just beep, 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 beep. I'm like, I said, I think, quote unquote, I said, Mom, what the hell do I do with this baby? It's talking to me. And, I knew what I needed to do. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So she advised me of what to do. And it absolutely broke my heart. Absolutely broke my heart. I bawled. Not only did I bawl because I had just done that with a gosling, I tried everything in my power to help this baby out and to give it a good, successful life. But then I had to turn around and I had to end its life. So there was tears for that. And then there was tears when the realization hit me that it was this hen. Then the realization of trying to reach out to everybody that had bought goslings. Trying to track down where this bird came from because she was an eBay egg. Just trying to warn everybody that there was something genetically wrong with this bird. So, when you're assisting with eggs, please keep in mind that you may be trying to save its life, but in the end, you may have to end its life as well. So just keep that in mind, because if you put as much blood, sweat, and tears as what I do into hatching my eggs, then it'll really make you question whether you're doing the right thing or not. With that being said, I don't help as many out as what I used to. If I see that they're trying, the eggs rocking, they're pretty much, Barb, pretty much. Barb said assist in its death. Yeah, pretty much. But if I see where they're rocking the egg, if I hear them trying to make an effort, if that little tiny flap that you first see when they do an external pip is sitting there going beep, 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 that's when it's like 24 to 48 hours. Okay, you know what? I gotta go to the store. I'm gonna go get my grocery shopping done, and then I'll, come back and see what it's doing. And typically, in that time frame, is usually when the decision is made. If it's still alive and really trying, okay, fine. If you got that much in you, I'll gladly try and help you out. But in the same token, that's when I've also come back and nature has taken its own course. Then I don't feel horrible for having to end it. So, when you talk about assisting eggs and goslings hatching, just keep in mind that you may have to assist with ending their life too. Whether it be at that precise moment or something that pops up 2-3 days later, even a week later. There was probably a reason as to why that baby was not supposed to hatch. Oh, absolutely. Barb says you do have goslings that will hatch and then drop dead afterwards as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Rule of thumb is to leave them in the incubator for about 24 hours, or at least they're fully dry. Then, at 24 hours, you can pull them out of the incubator and put them in the bird box. These little suckers are in my incubators, again, are in my bedroom. You guys have all heard, or majority of you have heard, goslings flopping around in a styrofoam incubator. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. Try sleeping through that. Boom, 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 beep, 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 boom, boom, beep, 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 beep. Okay, anywho, yeah, I need to move these incubators. But you can, you guys gotta see. So, I'm catching my head bopping out the corner of my eye when I just did that. And all I seen was my ponytail going beep, 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 beep. Oh my gosh. I'm so, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm like this in person too, guys. But anyways, yeah, you take them out of the incubator. In the incubator, they're just going bonkers, nuts, and they're having a grand old time. And get them to the brooder box. And thanks, Barb. Get them in the brooder box, and the next day they just, or that evening, or that whatever time frame, several hours later, they're just flat out in the incubator, or in the brooder box. No rhyme, no reason. I had that happen last year. I had one that I always, when I put babies in the brooder box, I always add liquid B vitamin complex to the water, so that, and what I will do is I will give them a little dunk of their head, their bill in the water, and then a little dunk into the chick starter, which is usually on a paper towel in the bottom of the brooder box. It only takes like one or two of them to figure it out, and then the rest are all like pigs. And I noticed this one the next morning just kind of real dunky, so I kind of boxed it off, made sure it had the heat and everything else like that, and gave it just a little bit more B vitamin. And that night when I went down to do chores, it was gone, just flat out laid out. No idea, no rhyme, no reason. And it's nature. It's nature, guys. Remember, when we take over the incubation process, excuse me, we took over nature's process. And Barb had a good point back when she said that the hen will a lot of times kick an egg out if it's not fertile. A hen will also kick an egg out as well if they sense that something's wrong with it. Just like you've heard of like puppies, or dogs with puppies, or rabbits, probably other carnivorous type animals. I don't foresee like a cow doing it or anything, cow or goat or anything, but sometimes they will eat the puppy, for lack of better terms, because they know that something is wrong with it. And there's no way to know. So just fair warning, be prepared. So, but on that note, y'all, it's 20 after 10. I still have to eat dinner. And the romaine lettuce. So, Barb, I do agree with that, but I do start mine off when they go in the brooder box. I'll give them 1 day of chick starter, so they hatch 24 hours, about 48 hours. I use a pizza wheel, a pizza cutter, and I just take that sucker and just go all kinds of back and forth, 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 back and forth. I mean, it actually becomes kind of like a smoothie drink mix. It's really nasty looking too. But my pieces are like, they end up being like very minuscule. So that's what I do. I've also heard that some people do with the romaine lettuce. They use those those push 'em chopper thingies. Your onion chopper thingies. That you push it and it goes chop 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 chop. Or a blender You can blend it too. Good night, Delva. But using that pizza wheel really makes a difference because you can just run it over numerous times and you don't even have to hold it or anything like that. And I don't use the stem part, you know, the hard center part. I don't use that part, only the leafy part. Oh, I know. That's another reason why I use the, I will find the videos. It's not even near ready yet. I'm on a time crunch with this, but, I will, whether it be in an email, newsletter, on the Facebook page, you know, the Friends of National Sebastopol page, I'll make a post, but I'll do a tour of my brooder area. But the suet block beaters for birds, I will hang those on the inside of my brooder boxes and stuff those full. Not only is it enrichment, but it keeps the mess off the floor. I'm catching myself out of the corner of my eye, you guys, and it's cracking me up. Clover. I mean, I know they do eat the clovers out in the yard. One of the things with the romaine, though, is, and I don't know about clover, as far as the romaine is a very good supplement for the niacin. So I go to a local produce place. Freaking stink bug. I go to a local produce place that supplies like restaurants and things like that, and I get a case, which is about 25 heads of lettuce. And the last time that I bought one, it was like $37. I'll also go into, I know, my store up here that I go to is Meijer's. I've never seen a Walmart have it, but Meijer's does. Dandelion greens are are a way better. Clovers, they only offer so much green, and the stems, they don't eat the stems typically. But between the dandelion greens and the romaine lettuce, that's what will help give them the nutritional boost. And if you're in an area also, even though I'm in Michigan, I can be out there with snow on the ground, and I will take and shovel some snow off, and I will go out there with a pair of scissors and cut down some grass and cut it up for them and put it in there as well. Now, it does make me wonder if you can freeze dry any of that stuff, or if you can dehydrate grass, and then, you know, rehydrate it like in a regular dehydrator. It really does make me wonder. But your better options are the dandelion and the romaine lettuce. If you just let them out in the yard, then they'll be picky and choosy on what they're eating. I don't know if I can or not. I don't have them on my tablet. But let me see. Just a second. Let me see here. I'm on my tablet. Let me go into my photos. I'll be right back on that. I'm going to post the link It's here somewhere. I've shared recently the link. I've got to go backwards quite a bit. But I will do a Brooder Box tour. It's on my personal Eastwind Sebastopol page. It seems like it's on the Friends of Sebastopol page too. I did a tour of it last year. Wow, that's really bright on my eyes. See if I can find that. Peas are another good option. The frozen peas, not the canned peas. Just make sure that they are unthawed first. And that they're unthawed first. And I don't do peas because I worry about them choking on them as well. But many people do. And I always say, I'm going to do something different. Like add peas to their diet. Or add, you know, hay or whatever. And I never do. So here's a link to my Facebook page, my personal Eastwinds page, of the video of the Brooder Box. I will post it over on Friends of as well. And I'm doing this right now because if I don't, I will forget, you guys. I will. My brain is just kind of mush right now. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go. We've been here for quite a while. I'm sure y'all done listening to me talk. But there's linked to a couple Facebook ideas. I'm going to also include some of it into electronic newsletter for the club that I am currently working on. Well, not at the moment. And I'll, in the education section of the website, I would really like to get a lot of these tips and tricks put out there for everybody. And that way we can share all of our tips and tricks. So anyways, I'm going to go eat, check on Pops, make sure everything's taken care of out there. And then I'm going to get my happy self to bed. So, or at least try to. Thank you everybody for watching. I so greatly appreciate you all just listening to me stammer on. Join us again next week. Same time, same place. And you guys have a great week. See you all next week. Bye-bye.